Hey everybody, welcome to the Toy Box. I'm your host Andrew M. Downstairs on his smartphone trying to get another video tour. This is video tour part 2. When you walk into my basement, this is the first thing you see when you turn your head to the right. It's pretty awe-inspiring even to me, even though I've had this for a very long time. This of course is my infamous aircraft carrier. It is 89 inches, that is 7 feet, that is a little over 2 meters in length. It is sitting on top of a 6 foot or 1.8 meter table, and it barely fits. It's a close call. Now you'll notice I've got a flashlight going separately from my phone camera here, because parts of this room are very dark, and if I don't light them up a bit, things are not going to be visible. This is an incredibly difficult area for me to photograph and video in. So a video tour is going to be very challenging, but I'm going to give it my best shot. So underneath the aircraft carrier table is all of my play sets. So you can see I've got G.I. Joe Headquarters, Star Trek Bridge, the original Snake Mountain. Oh, hell yes. I was so excited. I only acquired that recently since I had to let go of it from when I was a child. And of course, we have the new and improved Matty Collector 2013 Castle Grayskull sitting in front of the vintage Castle Grayskull. We'll swing around to the other side of the table before I'm done. I'll make sure we see everything. Also have a bat symbol, and yes, it actually works. I have definitely called Batman a few times in my days down here. So the main attraction of the room for me is the larger scale figures. These are the 6-inch and larger figures. As you can see, continuing from upstairs, I've got the really big guys in the very back and all those diorama pieces in the very back. So the reason that this room has the most growth and change is because this scale of figure is really where I'm focusing my collection the most these days. I've got a lot more interest in things like the 6-inch Marvel Legends and DC figures than anything else at this time. So my apologies again for the somewhat shaky camera work, but I don't have a better camera with a light on it. Even though I'm using a flashlight, this room is really dark, and it's really hard to get on film without some sort of like professional grade lighting solution. But I want to give everyone an idea about the kinds of things that I've got and that I will be talking about on the channel. And so when you see like Evangelion and Robotech and Transformers and, oh, look at that, the ring race didn't show up on camera, and a whole bunch of other stuff, it gives you an idea. Is this going to be a channel that maybe you might have something to say, or maybe you know a friend you want to tell them about? Holy crap, you got to see what this guy has. And realize that also I'll be doing a lot more than just showing off, as I am in these initial videos. This is a channel for discussion about the characters, the toys, and why people like myself enjoy collecting stuff like this. And I also want to get into kind of a video essay. Why do I collect what I collect? What challenges have I faced? And I don't just mean finding that one figure who's impossible to find. This next rack is the largest in my entire collection. It is very challenging to photograph, and I'm going to tell you blunt truth, it's hard to see, even in person. You got to get really up close with this one, so I'm going to do my best. But there's definitely going to be figures on here you will not be able to see when I get into the lowest rows, because it's unfortunately very dark. And in my home, there's nowhere else to put it. But these are the figures that are very new. They're only a couple years old, if even. And not only that, but they're probably the most popular in terms of pop culture these days. You know, we've got Harley Quinn, Suicide Squad. We've got Mordo from Doctor Strange, you know, right there. We have a lot of other well-known characters. In fact, the very back row is probably you know, one I'd love to have out front. But because I'm a nerd and compulsively trying, and yes, my hand is in the shot on purpose, because if I don't block out some of this light, you won't even be able to see these guys, which is another real big challenge of this room. But the figures continue into the 2017s and 2018s. I'm very proud of that Marvel Legends Hela. That goes online for an insane value, and I picked it up in Halifax at, like, Walmart. So it wasn't a bank breaker. As you can see, these are the really recent ones. They're at the time of this video, in early August 2018, you can go into a store and still find these. Maybe not Darth Vader. Good luck on that. But you get the idea. Also, continuing from that on the rack, I am going to now swing the camera around again. Sorry about that. I've got whatever vehicles I can fit out on display. And you'll see I'm even cheating. I've got vehicles on top of vehicles like that, you know, reddish airplane and whatnot on top of that shuttle booster, because I ran out of room. I was trying to fit everything, and this is the only way I could fit even as much as I did. Look at that. I even have a G.I. Joe 1985 Snowcat on the floor because there was nowhere else to put it. It is next to my ginormous Batman v Superman Batcave, which I picked up at a bargain store, I guess you can call it, here in the Greater Toronto area for $40, which is pretty amazing. That's less than half of what it went for at retail. And over there, those 3 Rubbermaid containers, which are a little over a meter and a half long each, and they're big. They're 3 foot, I believe. Let's look at the label. It'll tell us. 30 gallons, or 114 liters, I guess. They're full of vehicles that I was unable to get out because I don't have enough room. And I originally had wanted to start this channel when I had everything out, but then I realized I'm not lacking for stuff to talk about, and I want to make sure that if I do this, I sort of get to it. So that's all there is to be had, folks. There's that original Castle Grayskull tucked in behind the older one, or the newer one. And as you can see on the aircraft carrier table, I've got boats and subs and watercraft surrounding it. And only G.I. Joe's aircraft and watercraft are on this table. No other team, no bad guys are represented. And that is the downstairs. So I'm going to be putting up a second video today. Be sure to check that out. And I hope to see you all out there in Toyland. If there's something here that you would love to hear me talk about, or just kind of sort of maybe want to hear me talk about, leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you all have an awesome time. Thank you for watching.